You're not a conventional royalty company per se. You have this kind of private equity approach to some of your investing, okay? Because you then get the private equity type percent. And having come from private equity, if it was anything under 20%, I wasn't really interested. So it gets significantly more than you'd expect from the royalty. But higher risk, you've got to know what you're investing into at that point, right? Is that a fair point?
Yeah, I mean, we tend to we like to eat our own cooking. So in the case of Barkerville, which has been the more controversial acquisition that we did last year, it's an asset where we put our own management team in. Chris Loader is part of the Osisko platform. He became CEO. We executed 500,000 meters of drilling under his supervision. I was chairman. We pulled that down to the asset base because we felt that there was a big value gap there for our shareholders. So we looked at it more like a private equity investment and said there's a good chance that we'll have a 20% plus return on this asset. So we'll pull that in because the market hasn't recognized it. So we're in the process right now of financing that project to the next level, but it's a 2,300 square kilometer land package. It's a mining camp, not just a project, with multiple mines. And the vision for that one is that we end up with 5 to 10 mines with a central processing facility. And the Osisko royalty shareholders may end up with a royalty that's somewhat competitive to the Canadian Malartic royalty, which is probably considered to be the best royalty in the world, delivering about 35,000 ounces a year of zero cost gold. There are streams that are bigger, but there are very few royalties that are bigger than that. So our goal has been to look and, not to get caught with the rats and mice and lots of people who are taking pieces and parts of things and paying for them with stock. We've just stuck to primary business and tried to be more disciplined in our asset acquisitions, focused on when we see something big, we want to bear down on it. And we want to exploit that for our shareholders' benefit and to be greedy on their behalf in terms of quality assets.
Okay. Again, I'm just trying to really deconstruct and simplify this. So I get 16 producing assets, 16 near-term producing assets following up at some point. So that's the kind of conventional component. The private equity thing, I get that you're going big when you do go, but you can understand why people looking at if you started off as a royalty company, it's in the title of the company, why they might be confused or might not do the homework to try and understand what it is that you do. Your background is private equity. So therefore you've got a natural penchant for that, but the market doesn't necessarily have that. So what is it that attracts you to it? Is it this long-term or medium-term large private equity type returns that you think will smooth the kind of curves, or why do it at all? Why not spin it out? Why not do that elsewhere?
Well, we are in the process. When we did the acquisition of Barkerville, we announced the North Spirit Discovery Group, which is intended to be a traditional private equity group. We're in the process right now. When we bought that Barkerville asset, we had 5 million ounces of gold in the ground, but we think that there's potential there for significantly more. It's an 83-kilometer long mineralized trend. So we really thought this is a company maker asset. We've been in the process of looking for an asset partner on that, and the Osisko Gold Royalties would benefit from being an owner in the private equity group at the GP level, as well as retaining a 5% royalty on all of those potential projects. With the starter asset being the current resource, which is we announced a PEA on last fall, and we think that as we evolve through this. It should happen. The strange thing that happened, of course, is we bought the asset at $1,300 gold, and gold has broken loose since we bought it. So we've had multiple partners coming in, but time has been our friend as we looked at all these potential partners to come into it. So obviously, we're trying to choose our fight date properly in terms of bringing in that investment partner into the story. And I think you'll see us get that done before the end of the year. We had a little bit of delay, obviously, to COVID-19, as one does. But I'm pretty excited about the value that's been created there. It is in the permitting track. It's 18 months out from permitting. Public hearings have been held. IBAs are near completion. There's a lot of risk-off stuff that's happening to that project. It could be a serious drive to confirm our accelerator model for the Osisko royalty shareholders that, we've done it again. I mean, they've seen us do it before. Obviously, Windfall Lake being the biggest success, having taken that from an $8 million company, raised $700 million of flow through money to go drill and creating one of the highest grade discoveries in the world right now at 5 million ounces, 8.9 grams. So we've been down this track before, and we think that we can continue to deliver on it. But it does make shareholders somewhat nervous while we're doing it. So I've been trying to mitigate the risk for shareholders in a traditional royalty model. And obviously, this has rattled the establishment of royalty companies because they're all about not having too much risk on their balance sheets. But we've generated significantly higher returns, and we've been able to grow faster than any other royalty company in the space over the last 5 years.
Okay, so who's going to run that?
So right now it's we have Luc Lessard, who was the mine builder for Cambior, and he built our Canadian Malartic mine. He's built 11 mines in the past. So he's on the engineering side, framed up by Francois Vesna, and a bunch of other guys that worked with us on mine builds in the past. We do have a history amongst the group. We've built 14 mines. So we have quite a bit of depth on the bench when it comes to the chief operating officer on down. From the financial side, we've got Sandeep Singh, who has taken over as president for Osisko Gold Royalties, one of the more exceptional M&A bankers that started his own firm called Maxit. Came out of Dundee and BMO and was an advisor to us. So he's running a lot of the day-to-day royalty business, and I've been focused on trying to make sure that we have the proper engineering and financial backing for that. But we'll have a market presence. We have John Brzezinski, who's running Osisko Mining right now, who's in the repertoire of Bob Wares, who was we were all co-founders of Osisko One. So we have a lot of credible senior CEO level people within the group, and we tend to hunt as a pack.